All right, first and foremost, we give all praises, honor, and glory unto the Most High God, Yahweh. We do so in the name of His only begotten Son, who the world calls Christ, Yahweh Shai. Right, your brother, Chief Priest Allah Zabon Lawyer, aka the Gorilla Hebrew.
Officer Sabon Lawyer.
And yeah, so, you know, first and foremost, a Shar Kadash to Yasharala, meaning a happy new moon. It's a new moon, it's a Sabbath. You know, so we just want to break y'all off with something like we've been kind of trying to do consecutively through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai. Also, people look for live classes on Fridays to be back. You know, for those of y'all that are not familiar, you know, I recently moved to Dallas back in April, so you know we just been getting everything as far as camp situated. So, you know, we of course got our weekly Saturday camp program clicking. You know, on all cylinders through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai. We just opened up a Friday camp as well in Deep Ellum here in Dallas, but Most High willing, within the coming weeks, we should have our classroom building locked in. So we should be bringing y'all classes again on Friday nights through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai. So look out for that. All right. But for this new moon, what we want to do is we want to just go into some stuff or go into a particular topic, and then of course open up the floor for questions. Any questions anybody got, we definitely want to you know, if we have an answer them through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai. Damn, can't. Matter of fact, you know what? I know what I'll do. What's wrong with me? Want to make sure we can see it. Okay, yeah, share it, saints. Share it, saints. So yeah, we'll get off into this topic, and the topic that we're gonna deal with, you know, first and foremost, is something called universal laws. From our findings, from our research, there is at least one type of law that we can say that the Most High God holds all nations accountable for. All right. We know that they, of course, were not given the laws of Moses. Moses ain't come to them and give them the Torah. We understand that. Right. But there are certain things that the Most High says are sins of the nations. We know that sin is transgression of the law. We know that Moses, of course, did not give the law to the nation. So how can the nation sin is the question. I see a lot of brothers go around saying, y'all can't sin because y'all wasn't given the law. You're technically right, but you're technically wrong. So you're leaving your jaw out there because somebody could come through and cut you and say, well, wait a minute. It says here, this is Babylon's sins, or this is this nation's sins, and their sins have reached to heaven, etc. So then that's problematic. So we need to understand what deeds or what sins or what laws that the Most High God frowns upon in every nation and will judge any nation for violating. Right? That's key to understanding. So first, let's go to Strong's G and pull up that Strong's G 4202. That's the first place we're going. You all right?
4202, you said?
Yes, sir.
This is Strong's G 4202. The word is porneia.
It's porneia, right? Read.
First definition says illicit sexual intercourse.
An illicit sexual intercourse. So that's the word for fornication in the Greek. And the definition of it is an illicit or unlawful sexual intercourse. So any form of sexual intercourse that is forbidden by the Mosaic law, that is what is considered and falls under the category of fornication. Fornication is a sin that the Most High judges all nations for. Any nation that multiplies fornication gets judged. We see this with Pompeii. Everybody know how wicked and evil and sinful Pompeii was. They weren't given the laws of God, but the Most High God caused the volcano to erupt and bury that city in volcanic ash and kill all the inhabitants thereof. and leave it there, though, as a symbol of what it was. So when they began to excavate and unearth it, they saw all the blatant fornication that was publicized throughout the city. And the Most High left that there to show you he judges people for this. Before there was an Israel, there was a Sodom and Gomorrah that the Most High God judged. And we're going to get into that through the spirit and power of Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shai in a moment. Oh. But as we can see, fornication is something that the Most High sees as so abominable and detestable that he doesn't tolerate it in any nation. These nations can commit idolatry. They can eat whatever the hell they want. But when they start to multiply fornication on a national level, the Most High God is surely going to visit them. And that's one of the sins of America that the Most High God is surely going to visit.
That's right.
Right? So let's go to Matthew 14:3. We're going to read Matthew 14:3-4 to begin to build this premise, to understand how we come to the conclusion through the Spirit that fornication is unacceptable and something that the Most High will judge any nation for. Okay. Right? Go ahead.
This is the book of Matthew, chapter 14 and verse 3. For
Herod is not an Israelite. Herod is an Edomite. For Herod, read.
For Herod had laid hold on John.
And John who? John the Baptist. Jean Baptiste, as we call him. Read.
And bound him.
Had him in jail. Read.
And put him in prison. For Herodias.
Why? For Herodias, read.
For Herodias' sake.
For Herodias' sake, read.
His brother, Philip's wife.
His brother Philip's wife. So Herod was committing adultery with his own brother's wife. This is a form of fornication. Adultery is the #1 illicit sex act. Adultery, homosexuality, bestiality, pedophilia, etc. Right? So adultery falls under the line of fornication. So what he did was he locked John up because of his brother's wife, who he was having extramarital affairs with. Read.
It says, for John said unto him.
What did John say to Herod? An Edomite, mind you. Read.
It is not lawful.
It's not lawful. Read.
For thee to have her.
It's not lawful for you to have her. Why? Because she belongs to somebody else, and that's adultery. Why would he be telling an Edomite this? Because these are standards. Fornication now is a standard that the Most High holds every nation of people to. All right. Let's go to, and part of that probably goes into the initial commandment that he gave to mankind, which is be fruitful and multiply. Right? You don't want to multiply in adultery. That's off. And all other forms of illicit sex acts don't even bring forth fruit. So that really goes into that initial commandment. But let's go here to Leviticus 20:10.
Okay. It's the book of Leviticus chapter 20 and verse 10. And the man that committeth adultery.
The man that committeth adultery, read.
With another man's wife.
With another man's wife, read.
Even he that committeth adultery with his neighbor's wife.
You see that? We know our neighbors are our fellow Israelites. When you read the Torah, you'll see all kind of laws, statutes, and commandments that pertain exclusively to our brothers and our neighbors, our fellow Israelites. There's things that we can not do to each other that we are permitted to do to heathens. All throughout the Torah, you see this, right? But when it says the man that commits adultery with another man's wife, even his neighbor's wife, that's letting you know that this is universal. That's letting you know that you can't have sex with any nation's woman. It's if an Edomite is with a sister, you can't just go and try to have sex with that sister to steal her away from that Edomite, because that's still adultery. It's not right for her to be with him, but at the same time, it's not right for you to go and have sex with her if she belongs to him. Read it again.
This is Leviticus 20, verse 10. And the man,
read,
that committeth adultery.
Adultery with who?
With another man's.
With another man. That's of any nation. With another man, read.
With another man's wife.
With another man's wife. Right? Read.
Even he. That committeth adultery with his neighbor's wife.
Even if you commit adultery with another with another one of your brother's wives. So we can't do it with another nation, or especially amongst our own nation. This is substantiating that this is a universal law, one that covers all nations, and all nations are held to a standard to in the eyes of the Most High Yahweh. Right? Finish that.
It says the adulterer and the adulteress,
both partakers, read,
shall surely be put to death.
Shall be put to death, right? So let's go to Genesis now. And we're going to Genesis 12 and 17 to 19 because we're going to show this before the codification of the of what we know as the Mosaic law. We're going to show that adultery was something that the Most High God detested, judged people for, and held heathen nations accountable for, proving that it is what we would call a universal law. Read.
Let's look at Genesis chapter 12 verse 17. And Yahweh plagued Pharaoh and his house with great plagues.
So Pharaoh, an Egyptian, a Hamite of the nation of Matazarium or Mitzrayim, is being plagued. Why? Read.
Because of Sarah.
Because of Sarah. Sarah's whose wife? Our forefather Abraham. This is our foremother. Read.
Because of Sarah, Abram's wife.
Abram's wife. Read.
And Pharaoh called Abram.
Pharaoh called Abram. Read on. This is the time where Abram or Abraham, before his name was changed to Abraham, lied to Pharaoh about the identity of Sarah and said she was his sister rather than his wife. Read.
And said, what is this that thou hast done unto me?
So he's realizing, he's identifying that since this woman has came into my house, I've been plagued. It must correlate. So he calls Abram and says, what have you done to me? Read on.
What is this that thou hast done unto me? Why didst thou not tell me that she was thy wife?
Why you ain't tell me that she's your wife? Because this has to be why I'm getting plagued. Why you ain't tell me? Read on.
Why saidst thou, she is my sister?
What verse you at?
Verse 19. So I might have taken her to me to wife.
Because I was thinking about popping on her. She fine as hell, right? Read.
Now therefore, behold thy wife.
Behold, this is your wife. Read.
Take her.
Take her. Read.
And go thy way.
Get the hell out of here, because I'm getting judged by your God because I'm violating a law that he holds all people accountable for. Adultery. Right? That's it on that.
Concert.
Let's go to chapter 20, Salakia. In Genesis 20, and we're going to start at verse 2 and we're going to read to verse 9.
Let's look at Genesis.
More witnesses showing that adultery is a universal law that the Most High holds even non-Israelites to. And really all forms of fornication, because adultery is just the first layer. We're going to go into other forms of fornication that we can clearly see, just like when we reference with Pompey. But go ahead.
This is Genesis 22. And Abraham said of Sarah, his wife, she is my sister.
Again, he does it. She's my sister. Read.
And Abimelech, king of Gerar, sent and took Sarah. Verse 3. But God came to Abimelech.
The God came to Abimelech. Read.
In a dream by night.
A vision was given to Abimelech while he was asleep. Read.
And said to him, behold, thou art but a dead man.
You're a dead man. The Most High, and this is why they call Yahweh Al-Shadja.
That's right.
Because he popped up in the heathen's dream and said, you're a dead man. Read.
Thou art a dead man for the woman which thou hast taken, for she is a man's wife.
That's a man's wife. Right? So this is something that the Most High does not take lightly. Adultery amongst any nation. Read.
Verse 4. But Abimelech had not come near her.
And he ain't had sex with her. Read.
And he said, Lord, wilt thou slay also a righteous nation?
What does it say? Lord? Is that in all caps?
No, sir.
Okay, go ahead.
Lord, wilt thou slay also a righteous nation? She said, said he not unto me, she is my sister?
I'm like, damn, are you going to hold me accountable for that? He told me it was his sister. I thought it was straight. Read.
And she,
it's a lot. Sarah had to go through a lot to have Isaac, to have us, man. All right, go ahead.
It says, and she, she herself said, he is my brother.
You see that? And this shows this Sarah. This is why in the New Testament it references Sarah, who obeyed her own husband, calling him Lord. She was in full submission to Abraham, to where she's even going along with the deception that he's using against Abimelech. Go ahead.
She herself said, he is my brother.
She didn't contest and say, nah, I'm his wife. She didn't do that. She followed the lead of her leader. Read.
In the integrity of my heart and innocency of my hands have I done this?
That's right. Go ahead. I didn't know. If I knew that they were together, I wouldn't have taken her. Read.
Verse 6. And God said unto him in a dream, Yea, I know that thou didst this in the integrity of thy heart. For I also withheld thee from sinning against me.
You see that? Sinning against me. So this is an Egyptian, or no, this is Abimelech. So he's the king of what? Moab or Gerar, which is, that might be a Canaanite city. I'd have to double check. Right. But he's not an Israelite. There's not even such a thing as Israelites. Right. So this brother, not this brother, this individual, this heathen actually, was going to sin against the Most High. Through what? Through committing adultery. But the Most High held him back from it, as to not allow him to fall into that trap for various ways. And most importantly, to make sure Sarah was untainted. All right. Go ahead.
It says, for I also withheld thee from sinning against thee.
You see that? Fornication, illicit sex, is a sin in any nation. Read.
Therefore suffered I thee not to touch her.
Meaning the Most High is in control of everything. Read.
Now therefore restore the man his wife.
Give him his woman back. Read on.
For he is a prophet. And he shall pray for thee, and thou shalt live. And if thou restore her not, know that thou shalt surely die.
That's right. Go ahead.
Thou and all that are thine.
All your people, your whole house is going to be cut off if that man don't get his wife back. Thus saith Yahweh. Go ahead.
Therefore Abimelech rose early in the morning and called all his servants and told all these things in their ears. And the men were sore afraid.
They were scared. That's Alashadja. Read.
Then Abimelech called Abraham and said unto him, What hast thou done unto us? And what have I offended thee?
Abimelech is hot now. What the hell did I do? What did you do to us? What did I do to you? Read.
That thou hast brought on me and on my kingdom a great sin.
A great what?
A great sin.
A sin. Fornication, illicit sex is a sin in every nation. Read.
Thou hast done deeds unto me that ought not to be done.
That shouldn't happen, because he knows the type of judgment that could get put on him for fornicating, meaning in this instance adultery. Read.
Where
we at?
Verse 10.
Okay, all I needed was to 9.
Okay.
Let's go to 39 now. Genesis 39, 7 and 9. So we didn't give 2 examples. Really, we gave the New Testament example of John the Baptist rebuking Herod, who was not an Israelite, for it. We showed the Torah precedence that quantifies that it is a law that covers all nations. Now we've given 2 examples prior to the existence of the nation of Israel of how it's considered a sin amongst other nations even. Now we're going to go to an example early on in the history of Israel with our forefather Joseph. 39, 7 and 9.
Let's look at Genesis chapter 39, verse 7. And it came to pass after these things that his master's wife cast her eyes upon Joseph.
So that Hamitic woman, she saw Joseph. She got hot and bothered by the brother, right? When she laid her eyes upon the brother. Read.
And she said, lie with me.
She said, come and lie with me. See, and this is the sick nature of what happens when us, the apple of the Most High's eye, the most beautiful and amazing people on the earth, when we get put in situations of bondage and we become the sexual desires of the people we're captives to. So we know this is what happens. You in the house, we know in this captivity, the white women want to get with you. They were doing it in the house, and they were lying, get niggas lynched, castrated, hung, all of those various things. Because them other nation women, they are foreign to us in the same way the other nation men are foreign to our women. All right. And as much as I hate to say it, because the other nations are so sick, they're fond of the same sex as well. All right. Because they're profane fornicators, and the Most High judges them for it, because he holds all nations to the standard of fornication. Read.
Verse 8. But he refused.
He refused. Joseph refused because he had a good upbringing that installed in him the fear of the Most High Yahweh and the understanding that adultery and other forms of fornication were intolerable in his eyes, abominable and detestable in the eyes of the Most High. Read.
And said unto his master's wife, Behold, my master wotteth not what is with me in the house. And he hath committed all that he hath to my hands. There is none greater in this house than I, neither hath he kept back anything from me but thee.
Yeah, but thee. I have a right and I have control and authority to take what I want out of anything in this house. This is what your husband gave me, except you. He's explaining to her, except you. Read.
Because thou art his wife.
You're his wife. Nobody is supposed to have another man's wife. Read.
How then can I do this great wickedness?
It's what?
Great wickedness.
Great wickedness. How then can I do this great wickedness? He's doing this is to a heathen. It's before we get the law. We understand that it's sin and great wickedness, and the other nations understood this well. Read.
And sin against God.
Ooh-wee. You see that? That's clear, right? Let's go to Leviticus 20 and 13. On to another form of fornication or illicit sexual activity, and show how other nations are held to this standard.
This book of Leviticus, chapter 20, verse 13. If a man also lieth with mankind,
homosexuality, read,
as he lieth with a woman,
and that's applicable either way, whether women are doing it or men are doing it. Read.
Both of them,
both, not one of them, both of them, read,
have committed an abomination.
They are abominable, they are detestable, and what shall happen?
They shall surely be put to death. Their blood shall be upon them.
So the Most High God, these are the illicit sex acts that are defined as fornication in the New Testament: adultery, homosexuality, bestiality, pedophilia, etc. These are the things, incest also. These are the things that the Most High God cannot stand. He hates, and he judges nations for when they multiply them. All right. Give me Genesis 18 and 20. Going back to Genesis again, before Israel's existence, before the codification of what we know today as the Torah, we can see other nations being judged for this sin. What sin? Fornication. All the law wasn't given to them, but all nations are held to the standard of fornication. Fornicating is a sin, period. And the Most High judges for it. Go ahead.
Let's look at Genesis chapter 18 and verse 20. And Yahweh said, because the cry of Sodom and Gomorrah.
The cry of Sodom and Gomorrah, read.
Is great.
It's great. Go ahead.
And because their sin.
Their what?
Their sin.
Their sin. You see that? They weren't given the law. They're not even Israelites. Israelites don't even exist. Moses is on the scene to give the law at this point. It's Genesis 18. We'll see Moses tell the next book. But what they're doing is a sin. Fornicating. Read.
Because their sin is very grievous, I will go down now and see whether they have done altogether according to the cry of it.
That's right. Go ahead. That's it, 20.
Come.
Go to 19 and read 4 to 5 in chapter 19.
Genesis chapter 19, verse 4. But before they lay down, the men of the city, even the men of Sodom.
But the men of the city, right? This is when the angels came to Lot's house to give him this warning. So before they lay down, here come the men of Sodom. Read.
Compass the house.
They surround this house that the men are in. Read. That the angels of God are in. Read.
Compass the house rounds. Both old and young.
Both what?
Old and young.
This is the key part. This was such a satanic and abominable place that people of all ages came to partake in this fornication. All ages, and this is what America is going towards right now with educating your children with homosexuality and sexual education, transgenderism, because they're trying to indoctrinate everybody with it. Like back in the day, even in America, you know, you had to get grown to go discover faggotry and all that. You see what I'm saying? Now it's being taught to you at an elementary level,
right?
In elementary school, in grade school, grammar school, as they call it, where you're supposed to be learning grammar, arithmetic, things of that nature, you know, getting a little exercise and physical education. Instead, now you're getting LGBTQ education. And that was the same thing in Sodom and Gomorrah because they taught it to the old and the young. Read on.
It says both old and young, all the people.
All the people. The people came and they surrounded the house a lot because all the people were sickos. All the people were sexual deviants, man. Read.
Come, all the people from every quarter.
From every quarter. They came, the whole town came to gather around Lot's house to get a piece of these angels. How sick. Read.
And they called unto Lot and said unto him, where are the men which came in to thee this night? Bring them out unto us.
Bring these men out. Read.
That we may know them.
That what?
We may know them.
They wanted to have sex with them. Know them in the biblical sense. How do you know somebody in the biblical sense? Sexual intercourse. So the whole town came out to have a damn gang rape, old and young. That's disgusting. That is detestable. That is abominable. The Most High rendered that a sin, called that a sin, and judged this place for that, because he holds all nations to the universal principle of fornication. Period. That's it on 5.
Yeah, there's more to prove that it's wickedness, though. We don't got to.
It's good. It's good. They got the point. Let's go to Exodus 20 now. Go to Exodus 20, because that's it. It's sin, it's illicit sex, it's fornication, and all nations are held to it. But I'm going to just show some examples of some things here. Exodus 20 and read 13.
Let's look at Exodus chapter 20, verse 13. Thou shalt not kill.
Thou shalt what?
Not kill.
Thou shalt not kill, right? Hold that. Go to the next chapter, 21 and 14. Thou shalt not kill, right? Go ahead.
Exodus chapter 21, verse 14. But if a man come presumptuously upon his neighbor to slay him with guile.
Upon who?
His neighbor.
His what?
His neighbor.
Read.
To slay him with guile. Thou shalt take him from mine altar, that he may die.
You see that? So when you get the 10 commandments are like an overview. Those commandments are expounded upon later in the Torah. So we see the next chapter when it expounds upon thou shalt not kill, which is murder. It says thy neighbor. That's something that we can't do to each other. Right? Another example, go back to 20, read 16.
This is Exodus 20 and 16. Thou shalt not bear false witness.
Bear false witness, read.
Against thy neighbor.
Against who?
Thy neighbor.
Against thy neighbor. That means you could technically, hypothetically, if you wanted to, bear false witness against another nation. See, and that's the problem. Like the other day when the apologist came up, if y'all seen the video, the apologist comes up and says, well, is lying a sin? And I said, well, show it to me. And that's the reason I'm asking, because and then he goes into bearing false witness, which is not, bearing false witness is a lie. It's a lie, but it's a specific type of lie in a specific manner. It's not just a general lie. Like, again, if you said, yeah, I was at the store 20 minutes ago, but you weren't, that's not bearing false witness, unless you're in a civil proceeding where people are being brought up on charges and you're lying on somebody to get them brought up on charges, to get them judged by the law. That's false witness, right? But that's even something that you could bear on a non-Israelite according to the Bible.
Right.
We're reading it in the law. It said thy neighbor. That's the Israelites. That's nobody else. This is not a law that's universal, that all people are held to the standard of. Only fornication is, right? Read that again.
This is Exodus 20 and 16. Thou shalt not bear false witness against thy neighbor.
Against thy neighbor, the same way in Leviticus when it says, and this dude don't even know it. That's why I called him on his bluff, because I knew he didn't know the scripture, because they don't care about the law at all. That's Leviticus 19:11. It says, thou shalt not steal, nor deal falsely, nor lie one to another. That doesn't qualify to other nations. That only qualifies our nation. We're not supposed to lie to each other. We're not supposed to bear false witness on each other, steal from each other, right? Deal falsely with each other blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians who are Israelites. That doesn't count for the whole world. That's not a universal principle that we have to apply dealing with everybody. But we do have certain universal principles that we have to apply dealing with everybody. And that definitely deals with adultery and fornication. We can't do that, period, right? That's it on that.
Okay.
Go to 15, verse 15. No, 20 and 15. Select it. Stay in 20. So we see murder or kill, and we see it quantified as only being applicable amongst the nation of Israel. Then we go here, false witness, also only applicable amongst the nation of Israel. So let's go to verse 15.
Exodus 20 and 15. Thou shalt not steal.
Thou shalt what?
Not steal.
Thou shalt not steal. That's all it says, right? But let's go to Exodus 3 and 22. You see?
This book of Exodus chapter 3, verse 22. But every woman shall borrow of her neighbor, and of her that sojourneth in her house, jewels of silver and jewels of gold.
Read, this is dealing with Egypt when we were in the dealing with the Egyptians. This instance, neighbor is dealing with the other Egyptians. Read, because that's who we're living around. Go ahead.
And raiment, and ye shall put them upon your sons and upon your daughters.
You shall take from them and put them on your sons and daughters. It's a commandment going to Israel to take. This is how we know who it's talking about. It says, take from them and put it on your sons and your daughters, Israel. Take from the non-Israelite and put it on the sons and daughters of the Israelites. Read.
And ye shall spoil.
And you shall spoil who?
The Egyptians.
The Egyptians. So that's what it's talking about. Spoil. Spoil is to steal from. So thou shalt not steal. It's talking about, I must get Leviticus 19:11 real quick, just to hammer it in through the spirit of power. Because that's what it's talking about. It's talking about Israelites. This is how we can conduct ourselves amongst each other. But that's not something that's universally applied to all nations. All right. So there is a set of laws that is applicable to all nations, and that's dealing with fornication. Outside of that, we have our laws that we have been given, and we have codes of conduct amongst one another. Right. So go ahead. Just like we can't sell a brother something that died of itself, but we can sell it to a heathen. Period. Right. There's a Hebrew servitude is for a specific allotted time, and there's rules, regulations, and conditions for Hebrew servitude. There's also rules, regulations, conditions for having a slave of the other nations, but the standard and how we have to treat a Hebrew servant versus how we treat another nation is entirely different. We beat another nation till he damn near die, and it'd be fine. For he is our money. We all know that scripture, but read that.
This is Leviticus chapter 19, verse 11. You shall not steal.
You shall not steal. Read.
Neither deal falsely.
Nor deal falsely. Read.
Neither lie.
Neither lie. Go ahead.
One to another.
To each other. To other Israelites. You can't do this. They don't cover other nations, showing you that those things are not universal. Those principles do not universally work for all people. But fornication is different than that, as we've already demonstrated through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shem Yahushua. All right. You had another scripture on it or anything?
Yeah. Well, I mean, going into like usury, for example.
Usury. We can lend money to the heathen under usury, meaning with interest, but we can't do that to our own brothers.
Right.
All right. Period. So with that, that'll end. That will end the lesson. So the floor is open for questions. Anybody got any questions? Go ahead, shoot the question.
Brother said, starting to have
Shalom, priest Yazar of Rav Lawyer. This brother, I'm starting to have panic attacks, and half of my body wants to paralyze, but the doctor says I'm okay. I wonder if it's witchcraft or demonic possession. What can I do? What you need to do is pray and fast. That's a problem going on. Pray and fast. You saved me. I'm a great prophet. Now, what is your name? I'm Alazar. Yeah, but anybody got questions, go ahead and ask. Yo, Win Buffalo. I wasn't looking at the the chat. Shalom, the Barker War. I know the God out of Juan is in here. Shalom to that soldier. But yeah, anybody got questions, ask now. I'm coming to Dallas this weekend. Yeah, we'll be on Saturday. Catch us at One Main Place, corner of Main and Griffin. Saturday afternoon around 4, pull up. We in the building. Lord willing. Do Lucifer have a color? Yes, but first and foremost, shalom to soldier Isaiah Bangad, powerful soldier. Do Lucifer have a color? Lucifer is not Satan. That's the first thing you would have to understand. Lucifer and the spiritual demon Satan are two different things. Lucifer is the king of Babylon. The king of mystery Babylon is the so-called white people. So right. You can say Lucifer has a color. And guess what? It's red because they're not white. They're red. Right. All right. I Young Star. I'm glad I could be of service. But ultimately, Hamashiach Yahushua, the Most High, through Hamashiach Yahushua, is who's going to be save you. I'm glad that I could, be of service to you in any way, though. Shalom, Kings of Card, Deacon Music is firework, and I build with you, Kings of Pensacola. For if you in Pensacola, reach out to us, send an email, Exodus 1715, Exodus without the E, XODUS 1715 at Gmail. And we can hook you up with the brothers we got in Florida. We got all kind of brothers up and down Florida. All right. Okay. I keep forgetting you out there in Peru. So shalom to you out there in Peru, brother. Tribal Asher out there. Could you get me scripture, please? Slick predator on what? Scripture on what? Is this prophecy of Joshua or Jesus? Get that Exodus 23:20.
I think it's talking about my name.
I believe that's Joshua, right?
Well, I think it is Christ.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, that's Christ. Exodus 23:20.
Uh-huh.
Behold, I send an angel before thee.
It's an angel. It's Yahushua. It's Yahushua in an angelic form. But the funny thing is Joshua and Jesus is the same in Hebrew. It's Yahushua. Right. Either way. It's just when you transliterate it from Hebrew to Greek to English, it's Jesus. But when you go straight from Hebrew to English, it's Joshua. Go ahead. Of Lucifer being the king of Babylon? Well, that's very easy. We'll finish that in a second. Go ahead.
Behold, I send an angel before thee to keep thee in the way and to bring thee into the place which I have prepared.
So he's the one, the angel that he sent before us is in the chariot or in the pillar of fire that's following us, not the individual brother that led us into the promised land, which of course was Joshua, the son of Nun, tribe of Ephraim. Go ahead.
Beware of him and obey his voice.
Beware of him and obey his voice. Read on.
Provoke him not, for he will not pardon your transgressions.
That's right. See, Joshua did not have power to forgive sins.
Yeah.
Only that power was given to Hamashiach, right? Yahushua. Go ahead.
For my name is in him.
You see that? Boom, my name is in him. And that goes into other precepts as well. Lucifer being the king of Babylon, Isaiah 14. First off, slick predator. I have a question. How many times does the term Lucifer verbatim appear in the Bible? How many? Soldier.
You went from the answer there, or you want me?
Does the Bible talk about Bigfoot and such creatures? Kind of. We'll get that in the Apocrypha in a second. You got the red book? Go ahead.
Yeah, you want me to
Dwayne J, the mark of the beast is the RFID chip. You don't know, brother. Slick predator. So I could tell you one time. Let's read about it. Go ahead.
This is Isaiah 14:4. That thou shalt take up this proverb against the king of Babylon.
Against who?
The king of Babylon.
This is a proverb against the king of Babylon. This is the key of the context dealing with the only time the term Lucifer appears in the Bible. Read it from the top again.
It's Isaiah 14:4. That thou shalt take up this proverb against the king of Babylon.
The king of Babylon. Read on.
And
yeah, that's
say,
a good precept, Isaiah. Go ahead.
How hath the oppressor ceased?
And say what?
How hath the oppressor ceased?
The king of Babylon is the oppressor. Read.
The golden city ceased.
I'm
gonna jump to verse 12.
Now we going down. We began the context. King of Babylon. Read.
How art thou fallen from heaven, O Lucifer?
O Lucifer. How art thou fallen from heaven, O Lucifer? Who is Lucifer? The king of Babylon. Beano Mob. We got a camp, 4th and Pine, downtown Seattle, every Saturday afternoon. Get out there, brother. What city are you in? But go ahead.
It says, how art thou fallen from heaven, O Lucifer, son of the morning?
O Lucifer, son of the morning. Read.
How art thou cut down to the ground, which didst weaken the nations?
He weakening the Satan ain't coming down weakening the nations. This is something that an individual nation is doing. Read.
For thou hast said in thine heart, I will ascend into heaven.
I will say, yeah, a lot of brothers live in Kent, Bino. So yeah, just get out there downtown. Brothers out there, Officer Yatab, Officer Rayabia, Soldier Ash, them brothers is all around the Kent and Renton area. That's where they stay, but they camping and doing the work downtown Seattle. So get out there and you can link with them brothers, or you can email us in the meantime. Right? Shalom. I mean, Salaki, I'm reading. Go ahead.
For thou hast said in thine heart, I will ascend to heaven. I will exalt my throne above the stars of God.
This is what he said in his heart. I will ascend into heaven. Read.
I will sit also upon the mount of the congregation in the sides of the north. I will ascend above the heights of the clouds. I will be like the Most High.
I will what?
I will be like the Most High.
I will be like the Most High. That's what this ideology is. Read. He has a God complex. Go ahead.
Yet thou shalt be brought down to hell.
Thou shalt be brought down to, wait a minute, I thought he was in hell. No, he's getting brought down to hell, which means the grave, not a spooky underworld place. That's Greek mythology. Read.
Yeah. To the sides of the pit. They that see thee shall narrowly look upon thee.
You're going to see it. This is not no special spiritual being. This is an individual who you will see the fall of and say something about when you see it with your eyes, when you behold its fall. Read.
And consider thee, saying, is this the man?
Is this what?
The man?
The man. Lucifer is a man. Finish that, and we're going to move on.
That made the earth to tremble, that did shake kingdoms. That's it. I mean,
that's it. That did make the earth to tremble and shake kingdoms. That's the king of Babylon. J. Alex, no, a physical hell does not exist. You can't find that anywhere in the Bible. I want to scroll up because there's a lot of great questions being asked.
You want the Bigfoot?
Yeah, you know what I'm talking about in Sirach?
They used to be taller in the old days?
No. That's not it. That's not it. It's something about beasts in Sirach. But yeah, there's cryptids, which a cryptid means like a hidden animal that's spoken of in scripture. We know about the Leviathans, Behemoth, and things of that nature. So there's definitely cryptozoological animals that are referenced in the Bible. Lucifer color. Okay. No, we're not on Periscope. All praises. What is that?
All kinds of beasts.
Okay, yeah, read that. Read that.
It's the book Sirach, chapter 43 and verse 25. For therein be strange and wondrous works.
Strange and wondrous works. Read.
Variety of all kinds of beasts.
All kinds of beasts. Read.
And whales created. That's pretty much it.
And there's another one. You know the one that's like talking about the sparks coming out the eyes. It might be in Wisdom of Solomon, not Sirach. That's why it's probably in Wisdom of Solomon. Going on. Okay, that's that question. This wasn't my favorite. The reason why I'm asking, because some Gad nations like mine, the Navajo Nation, have skinwalkers. If you need definition of a skinwalker. Yeah, let me know what a skinwalker is. We believe the mark of the beast, the RFID chip, Dwayne J. What do you think about William Holland Thomas? I'm not familiar with them. JT.
No, I know what you want.
You know what I'm talking about? Okay. Yeah, unknown beast.
This is Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 11, verse 18. Yeah, I'm going to get to verse 18. It says, or unknown wild beasts, full of rage.
Full of rage, go ahead.
Newly created.
Newly created, go ahead.
Breathing out either a fiery vapor or filthy scents of...
Salaki, go ahead.
Or filthy scents of scattered smoke.
So it's all kind of crazy animals that exist that modern science may not have been familiar with or discovered or have revealed that they know about. So definitely I wouldn't ever discount the fact that a Bigfoot may exist. If you do studies on the Gigantopithecus, you'll know about the big upright walking ape that existed in the Americas a time ago and things of that nature. So I'm familiar. I was definitely, especially before I came into truth, I was big off into cryptozoology and whatnot. So I'm familiar. If Yahweh is not God, why do we have to worship him? We don't have to worship him. He didn't tell us to worship him. Caesar, can you explain Matthew 22 and 30?
And then they're given the marriage of Swiss.
Okay. Yeah.
This is the book of Matthew, chapter 22, verse 30. For in the resurrection, they neither marry nor are given in marriage.
Read.
But are as the angels of God in heaven.
We're in the spiritual realm. Yeah. In the spiritual realm, you can't have sex. You're not in a physical body. That's all that means. Me and my wife were discussing about hair wraps. If the woman's hair, her covering, the head covering was to signify woman's submission to her husband or single woman. Either one. Women should be wearing hair wraps in a spiritual setting for certain. She don't necessarily got to wear it all the time, but definitely if she's at class, at a feast, or anything related to the work, definitely head should be covered to symbolize subjection. What about Texas? Young Texas star or young TX star? For the pine. I have several. Okay, we did that. The real Sabbath. We have some videos out on it, so check it out. But basically, pursuant to the scriptures, we're given the sun, moon, stars to tell time. Days, weeks, and months are dictated by the moon. So the Sabbath goes by the moon. This being a new moon is a Sabbath. 7 days, and every 7 days after this, up until the next new moon, will be a Sabbath. All right. So the physical hell don't exist. No. What tribe, Dave? What tribe are you from? Okay. Khan, bro. Thank you. Hell is a place made up to escape. Exactly. Shalom. Shalom. Hebrew. The reason why I'm asking is because we have skinwalker and no tribe. Okay. Speak on Enoch, please. What do you want to know about Enoch exactly? What does the Bible speak on when it says where the worm never dies? And so, okay, I don't remember. Okay, yeah, he's talking about the lake of fire. So yeah, that's just dealing with the lake of fire that will give me that hell was put in the lake of fire to show you that it's not hell.
This is Revelation 20 and verse 14.
Yeah, the hell certainly doesn't exist. Go ahead.
It says, and death and hell.
What?
Death and hell.
And hell, read.
Were cast into the lake of fire.
Were cast. So hell is not the lake of fire. Hell was cast in the lake of fire. Hell just means the grave, Hebraically. So that's all it's talking about. A great grave is what America is going to be turned into after thermonuclear missiles destroy it. Okay. All right. Shalom, brother. Can you elaborate on Apollyon? Apollyon is Kaiser Wilhelm. Kaiser Wilhelm, that's going into World War I, the last emperor of Europe falling out of power, etc. There are false Israelites in Peru. They say they're from the tribe of Dan and building the third temple, and the founder believed he was Messiah. I mean, that happens. Very that happens here in America. Similar things like that. That's like Yahweh ben Yahweh. So they're just false prophets, false teachers, but they're still our people. It's a shape-shifting. Okay, yeah, no. I've heard of Skinwalker, Salakia. Yeah. I've heard of that. Especially amongst the Navajo and certain of them southwestern tribes. I've heard of that, brother. Salam Salat. My wife is Vietnamese and I'm black and Puerto Rican. Can I stay with her if she worships the Lord? Israel try to keep the law. I mean, I would never tell you to leave your wife, to be honest with you. I wouldn't tell you to leave your wife, even though she's another nation. You got her before you came to the truth. It's not much you can do about it. But when the situation comes, or if the situation comes where you get a sister, to take a sister to wife, because of course we know polygamy is something that we practice culturally. At that point, that woman is going to take a back seat. The one you currently have is going to have to take a back seat to the sister. All right. You can never, ever put a heathen over your sister. That's right. Is co-parenting allowed? If so, what scripture? I mean, there's not a scripture that talks about co-parenting, honestly. Men kept their kids. But, we're living in a world where co-parenting is a reality. So there's nothing wrong with it. If you have to do it, then do it. Somebody's got to impart this knowledge to your kids. What's the next prophecy that will come about? I can't tell you. Is this Apollo that will be here? Is that Nimrod? And is Nimrod Zeus? Nimrod is dead. He's in a box. He's nothing now. He's by this time, Nimrod is totally disintegrated back into the earth. So no, Nimrod will not be making a return as some type of figure that's going to come and do something miraculous. And is Nimrod Zeus? Zeus is an adaptation of Nimrod, you can say. How do you know East Indians are Elamites? How do we know ask East Indians what they are, they'll tell you. It's not a secret that East Indians and Persians are the descendants of Elam. They know that. Same way Arabs know they're Ishmaelites. Same way Ethiopians know they're Cushites. Okay. A lot of nations' identity is not hidden from them. Only ours, or primarily ours, rather. Any establishments? What do you mean, any establishments?
He's talking about, I think, in Texas.
Oh, yeah, we here in Dallas. I mean, we sitting here in Dallas, Texas right now. So the resurrection isn't the kingdom? No, the resurrection is not the kingdom in that context. I'd like to see a video on the call-up boundary in North Carolina. I gotta figure that. You JT, you are mentioning things that I'd like to research, but I'm not familiar with, so I couldn't help you with it as of right now. Acts 7:6 seems like definitive proof we are Israel. No, we never served that length of slavery anywhere else. Will Levitical priesthood be re-implemented in the kingdom? Yeah, it will. Let's go to get Jeremiah 33. Levitical priesthood will be back in the kingdom with a functioning temple and things of that nature. No, Apollo isn't in the Bible. Apollyon is in the Bible, which is not anything related to Apollo. Go ahead.
This is Jeremiah chapter 33, verse, I'm going to start verse 17. For thus saith Yahweh, David shall never want a man to sit upon the throne of the house of Israel.
David shall never want a man to sit upon his throne. Read.
Neither shall the priests of Levites, neither shall the priests, the Levites, want a man before me to offer burnt offerings.
Neither shall the priests, the Levites, want a man before me to offer burnt offerings. So this is a perpetual priesthood that we'll see in the kingdom. Go ahead. That's it on that.
And to kindle meat offerings and to do sacrifice continually.
You see that? Continually that'll happen. So that'll go on in the kingdom. Saturday means 7. Not necessarily. We have to understand that Saturday means Saturn's day. That's what Saturday means. Saturn's day. So the same way that somebody can say that worshiping on Sunday is sun worship, the same way I could say worshiping on Saturday is Saturn worship. That's why the Jewish man does it on that day. That's why they wear that yarmulke on their head, and that's why they wear all black. All of that is indicative of Saturn worship. That's why they worship on Saturn's day. All right, so we got to be careful. We don't worship on any particular day as far as that's set and fixed to the calendar that the white man has given us. We worship on the day. Number one, we worship all the time, but as far as sanctifying the Sabbath, we do that predicated upon what the Most High God gave us to tell time, which is the sun, moon, and stars. That's it. And today is a new moon, and every 7 days hereafter until the next new moon will be a Sabbath, and that's it. Navajo teach flat earth. Well, that's interesting. I hear that about a lot of Native American tribes. Was Israel white man or Arab? Who shares our mother? Esau is the white man. That's all right, not no damn Arab. Arabs know who they are. They're Ishmaelites. Have you heard the earth debate on the shape of the earth? Biblically, the earth is not what science says. We don't deal with or entertain debates dealing with the shape of the earth. What is the role of the tribe of Judah? Well, right now, we're waiting on the tribe of Judah to wake up because the rising up of the whole nation is, it correlates with the tribe of Judah's awakening. Who are the 24 elders? They're just 24 things that the Most High has created in heaven. There's no answer to that. That's something that we don't know. We don't have knowledge of what's going on in heaven like that. Good morning. we gotta push this word out, brother. Paper money. I say the Bible. Yeah, Jay, you're not irrational. It's a lot. Where we at? Yo, it isn't 4 a.m. It's 6 a.m. here. We're in Dallas, Texas, in the Central Time Zone. Was it okay for Gad to become the priest for the northern tribe where Levi fell? No, Levi didn't fall as priest. The northern kingdom rejected the priesthood of Levi so they could worship idols. So it wasn't just Gad. Gad was doing priest, Reuben, but predominantly I would say Simeon was doing the priesthood there because they left their portion in the south and came to the north and was priests. All right. So it wasn't about the priesthood hadn't fallen yet at that time. Is June really the 4th month? I mean, some years it may be, some years it might not be. Is Daniel 7:18 a precept to Luke 7? What's Luke 17:21 is?
So the kingdom is in you. Luke 7:18, I think it's the saints will take the kingdom. Possession forever and ever.
Not really. Those don't necessarily go together like that, because Daniel 7:18 is talking about physically taking the kingdom, pursuing, but instead in Luke it's in us. Trying to learn the Hebrew tongue. Does anyone have class to teach us? We have some Hebrew lessons. Look out for more. Shalom, Melon and Rich Negus. Nagast rather. That's right. I wish you guys were multi-stream on Periscope. Man, I tried to mess with Periscope. I don't get down with it, man. I like YouTube. I really don't like nothing else, to be real with you. I like YouTube. In the Hebrew calendar, does it start March 18th through? I mean, the Hebrew calendar is not fixed to this calendar. It doesn't function whatsoever like the calendar you know it. So one year it may start on March 18th. The next year it starts on a different day, though. It's not fixed. The rapper 6ix9ine is also Hebrew. He's from the tribe of Ephraim, not the tribe of Judah. He's from the tribe of Ephraim. His father is Puerto Rican. Why aren't the Indians and Puerto Ricans waking up? They are waking up. I don't know where you at. It's like a lot of people who say that they're not in areas that are densely populated by those tribes, but they're waking up. I'm seeing it every day. We have Asherite brothers, Gadite brothers, Ephraimite brothers, Issacharite brothers, Zebulonite brothers, all in our camp, you know. And we're not a large camp, you know. We just got around 50 members, in between United States and Canada. So, I mean, we got a brother in Brazil right now who's trying to get out. So, you know, they're waking up, and we got a brother from Peru on the chat right now, and he's talking about Israelite groups out there in Peru. Can you explain in detail the ritualistic comparison, Christ's sacrifice, and how it is fulfilled with the sacrificial lamb and the OT? Get Numbers 8.
Exodus 12.
Go ahead, get that. Oh yeah, get that.
Okay, this is Exodus 12 and 5. It says, "Your lamb shall be without blemish, a male of the first year. You shall take it out from the sheep or from the goats."
That's right. He was taken from the sheep, a lamb without blemish, meaning he didn't commit any sins. So now you got something else?
Okay.
Go ahead.
This is 1 Peter 1:19. It says, "But with the precious blood of Hamashiach, as of a lamb without blemish and without spot."
You see that? Boom. So get Numbers 8 and 10 to 12.
Okay. This is book of Numbers, chapter 8, verse 10. "And thou shalt bring the Levites before Yahweh, and the children of Israel shall put their hands upon the Levites."
So the Israelites put their hand, all the other tribes put their hands on us, the Levites. Read.
"And Aaron shall offer the Levites before Yahweh."
And Aaron offered the Levites before Yahweh. Read.
"For an offering of the children of Israel."
For an offering of the children of Israel. So the Levites are offered ritualistically for the children of Israel. Read.
"That they may execute the service of Yahweh."
Read on.
"And the Levites shall lay their hands upon the heads of the bullocks."
You see that? So we would lay our hands on the sacrificial animals. So basically, that laying on of hands was symbolic of like a power of attorney. So all the sins of Israel were given to the Levites, and then we would then in turn give them to the animals when we would kill them. Read.
Okay. "And thou shalt offer the one for a sin offering, and the other for a burnt offering."
You see that? So that's how it works. So in the same way, when Yahweh was called to council by the chief priest and the head priest at that time, which was Caiaphas, what happened was he said, "Are you the Son of God?" Yahweh looked back at him and said, "Thou hast said this," meaning you know and you have already declared that I am the Son of God. I am Hamashiach. So after that, they start literally putting their hands on them, smiting them, as it says, meaning they transferred what was on them, the Levitical priesthood, to Yahweh to offer him, and that's when he died. So that when they offered him up on the cross or whatnot. So all of that is a part of the Levitical ritual. Are you familiar with Nibiru in the Bible? All that is dealing with Nibiru, and Nibiru is made up. Yeah, Shalom paper money. So each of the 12 tribes has their own gate. Yes, each of the 12 tribes had their own gate. Follow boundary in North Carolina, the land all the Cherokee were in before the children. Okay. The Tamils die in June. That's why people are killing themselves. I don't know nothing about that. Shalom from Brazil. Shalom to Brazil. See, Brazil's waking up. You see? Northern tribes woke up. That's right. I'm gonna be honest. Gad's probably gonna be the hardest tribe to wake up, if you ask me, and or Reuben. The other tribes, I see them coming right along through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai. This calendar, correct me if I'm wrong, based on Esau, the Greek calendar, correct? No, this isn't exactly a Greek calendar. It's kind of like a Greco-Roman. But it's not though. It's like it's more Roman than Greek. But it's all based on the Egyptian calendar. So biblically, things like thou shalt not kill and thou shalt not steal don't apply against other nations. Yes, only applies to Israel. Khan, so beautiful to respond to that, brother. I'm waking up. I am Puerto Rican to the core. I am. Yeah, that's right. Why are so many? Jermaine, what are you referring to? Will the Levitical priesthood be reimplemented after that? During the kingdom starts with a 1,000-year reign, so it's going to be reimplemented during that time. Yep. Can you explain Ecclesiastes 1, Ecclesiastes 1:26? Larry, I'm telling you, Gad is going to be the hardest. I really didn't realize that till I start going to powwows. When I went to the first powwow, I realized Gad is going to be tough. Gad is a lost, sleep, comatose tribe. They in them powwows, singing them songs, don't even know what they singing, don't even know the language, just making all that noise. Gad is this, which is a so-called Native American Indian. They're going to be tough. But the thing is, I got some information dealing with the Hopi, the Blue Star prophecy, if you're familiar with that, and stuff like that. So I'm gonna start going into some of these prophecies that Gad has, because they are literally identical to the Bible. So hopefully that'll help. Also, a brother talks to a sister who is like big in the Native Indian community. She's infamous. Like, if y'all know the picture where it says Christopher Columbus, fuck you, that sister, brother is teaching her on a one-on-one level. So Most High willing, she can be utilized to wake up a lot of the tribe of Gad. How they know about Nibiru, we can't exactly. Perfect point. What the Gadites that can't speak the language awake. Exactly. What nation did that found?
I got that, Sirach.
Okay, go ahead.
This is Sirach 1:26. If thou desire wisdom, keep the commandments, and the Lord shall give her unto thee. He's asking why it's like her.
Oh, wisdom. Wisdom is likened unto a woman. Wisdom is a feminine principle. That's all. What do you think about Donald Trump meeting with Kim Jong-un? I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm not thinking much of it. I haven't given time to properly delve into it and research it, though. If anything really strikes me about it, you'll hear me talking about doing a video at class or speaking about it at camp or something in the spirit. People is it because he made what's that? Yeah. Isaiah 19. He made them, or it's neither. Neither of those is the answer for that.
This is
You want to start up, or you starting right there?
What
He said 23 to 25.
God, this is Isaiah 19:23. And that day shall there be a highway out of Egypt to Assyria, and the Assyrian shall come into Egypt, and the Egyptian into Assyria.
It's a lot of paper money. Yeah, I do believe that. Go ahead.
And the Egyptians shall serve with the Assyrians. And that day shall Israel be the third with Egypt and with Assyria, even a blessing in the midst of the land, whom Yahweh of hosts shall bless, saying, Blessed be Egypt, my people, and Assyria, the work of my hands, and Israel, my inheritance.
Yeah, hook up with Yeshaya. Hook up with Yeshaya Romans. Salakia. Yeah, we're gonna have our full land. This is the Egypt and Assyria thing. What's that? Yeah, this is hard to say. I've heard different things, and I'll be honest with you, we haven't come to a concrete conclusion on the full understanding of this in Isaiah 19. So because we've looked into it, we've kind of felt one way and we kind of felt another way. So we just not there with it yet all the way. So, you know, I ain't got an answer for you. Thank you for all of that. Knows how you play yourself. All praises, man. It's our reasonable service. Should we keep the 10 Commandments? All the laws. There's not a difference. 613 to 10 are a part of that 613. So it ain't no separation. People got to stop separating laws. The law is the law. Yeah. Link with the brother soldier Yeshaya. It doesn't seem like a lot of women will make the kingdom because of Christianity. A lot of women are going to make the kingdom. Probably going to be more women than men that's going to make the kingdom. If 7 women shall take hold of 1 man, then it's probably going to be more women than men, to be honest with you. Whatever, number 13. I don't get into nothing like that. What's that 214? Dallas. That's Dallas, right? Yeah, man. Young Texas Star, get your ass to camp, man. Maine and Griffin, Saturday, be there. We also going to be on Malcolm X and Elm Lord one at Friday night, midnight. Be there. All right? You think America is really in debt, or is that a lie? No, America is certainly in debt. I mean, there's all kind of numbers in the Bible, King. Yeah, it's that whole that passage. It's funny, man. It's, you know, so we gotta look at it, you know, and if we don't have a side, if we ever come to a conclusion, then, you know, we won't give an answer. Any guys in Chicago? Yes, we got Soldier Tazapanya out there on the shy. So go in the description of this video, hit the email or hit the Facebook or something like that, and we get you in contact with the Soldier Tazapanya out there in the shy, out there on the south side, man. What part of the shy is you in, Jay? Hope you ain't in O Block. O Block is no block. Yo, it's no block. Yo, it's no block. Shalom Benjamin. Any other questions? Shoot. Oh, yeah, it's crazy out here. I saw God downtown. Yeah, they got a couple camps that be downtown. A couple camps that be out south. So the brother, he be going out south like what's that? I want to say 79th, passing out flyers, but he also be going like in like the Ephraimite neighborhoods or whatnot. But get with us so we could hook you up, because he like right there in the hundreds right now. That's where he's staying at. Yeah, we got the brother Thamyad out there in Jersey from the tribe of Ephraim. Got the brother Ike Ron out there in Jersey from the tribe of Asher. Can you explain why the women in Numbers weren't to be put to death, or why don't they use this method to know if a woman is cheating today? Because that's a Levitical ritual. So, I mean, they might have something like that in Haiti, to be honest with you. But basically, if she drank it and her thighs ain't right, then, you know, she wasn't an adulteress, so she wouldn't be put to death. But she still sinned. If you read it closely in Numbers 5, she still sinned. If your wife makes you jealous in any way, she sinned. That's a sin. She had to bring an offering for that. But if she's not an adulteress, she don't got to get put to death. If she is found an adulteress through that process, then, you know, she will be put to death. When you come to Florida, Most High willing soon, you know, Fort Lauderdale, Light of Zion, Elder Chief Priest Kahan out there. So I got to come see him soon. We probably might have another summit out there next year, maybe January or something. So look for that. You live in Raleigh. Yeah, we got brothers in the Carolinas. I forget where Kasap is at exactly, and as well as Raleigh. He's by Raleigh. Okay, and we got the brother Ayan Yakaza as well out there in Fayetteville. So we got brothers. So y'all just make sure y'all go into the description of the videos and hit up the contact information, get in contact with us, and we can hook you up with whatever brothers we got closest to you and get you started. Why remove Enoch? Enoch was never a part of the Bible, bro. That's a fallacy. What's your question, Amash Yahoo, about that in Isaiah 27? Shalom, man. Shalom, man. Out there in London, man. What part of London? You in Brixton? Where you at? Essex? Let me know. For Gad to wake up, we need traditional Gadites that are in the truth so we can show all the story. Yeah. You're right. That's what we need. Gad really only gonna hear it from Gad too. I'm gonna be real with you. They don't care what no what no other tribe gotta say, I'm sure. The scripture teaches to live peaceable with all men. So that means at work, if I work with the known evil, either might have to be at peace. I mean, if it says the scripture says if at all possible. So if you look, boom, Kasab Kushad, there we go. Powerful soldier out there, hour and a half from Raleigh. So link with that brother. Solid brother. Yeah, we got some people out east, but you know, we're a West Coast camp. We're just really starting to expand down south, but we're mostly a West Coast based camp, you know. When we beat the drum, they say, hey, ya. See? Hey, ya. Right? No Andre 3000. I've talked to a Christian a couple of days ago, and it comes to my attention that they believe that the Most High changes. Yeah, they do. They do certainly believe that. You know?
Australia in the building.
Yeah, you know. Where in scripture does it say Africans selling out Israelites to their oppression? Get that in Amos 1. I'm gonna show you. Show you right now. It's the brother Benjamin. Shalom King Australia. From brother coming from Australia. See, I've been telling people what one-on-one jazz, what tribe you from? I know they got Uruguayans out there, as well as West African brothers out there in Australia. And a lot of people are so stupid because they say that Latinos are not scattered. But you got Latinos out there. I know firsthand Uruguayans out there in Australia. But go ahead.
Amos chapter 1, verse 9. Thus saith Yahweh, for 3 transgressions of Tyrus, and for 4, I will not turn away.
For Tyrus, those are Hamites, the Tyrians, Canaanites. Read.
And for 4, I will not turn away the punishment thereof. Because they delivered up.
They delivered what? Delivered up, read.
The whole captivity.
Delivered the whole captivity, read.
To Edom.
To who?
To Edom.
To the white man, read.
And remember not the brotherly covenant.
And remember not, because we had a brotherly covenant with them. They betrayed us and they sold us out to the white man. That's the precept on that, Amos 1 and 9, brother. What do you think about the brothers from Hebrew Nation building? What are you talking about from Hebrew Nation? I'm not familiar. Any brothers on here from Florida? Yeah. Anybody from Florida, hit up the bro Darius. I know we got of course Yazar. He was in here earlier. I don't know where he's at now. He out there in Orlando. Your call out there in Orlando, and Rob is out there in Boca Raton. So, you know, and plus we got brothers who we link up with, Fort Lauderdale, Light of Zion, Tampa, Nation of Kings and Priests. So you already know. You know, top of the morning, Henry Figueroa. 1 and 9. Terry Swoop 1 and 9. Yeah, Telerod is the location of the true temple. I mean, it's like they don't know the Israelites when I comment on this subject. I think they are crazy. Nah, Kibra Motor, you know, when it's new to a place, that's how it is, but that's why you got to put in that groundwork there to make it more regular to them. Navajo Hogan's face the east. Early in the morning, grandma prays toward the east, and we have a male and female Hogan, which is a priest, for those of y'all that don't know. So when they are on their period, also we keep the Levite laws when eating no pork. Yeah, I always tell people, them Native Americans did not deal with pork on that level. Yard man down under. Wow, that's crazy. But I'm not surprised. We everywhere, man. And, you know, you got certain of the West Africans that out there that's our people as well, down bottom in Australia. Okay. Sheep and goat is, yeah, exactly. Just like all the tribes outside of Judah, all the tribes is eating sheep and goat heavy. Shalom, brother Terry. And what prophecy was fulfilled when Trump declared Jerusalem? No prophecy. That's not in the Bible. Our Nigerian Christian, their people were sold into slavery here. It's in the history. Was there 2 distinct distinct factions back then between Pharisees and that. There was 4 distinct factions. There was Pharisees, Sadducees, Essenes, and Zealots. Those were the 4 distinct factions. It's called the 4 philosophies. If you want to look it up, just Google 4 philosophies Israel or 4 philosophies Judah, and you'll be able to pull up through the Jewish Encyclopedia a lot of information on the 4 philosophies. The Egyptian question maybe is the remnant. Possibly. Some people have said that, but it's not. I mean, it may be clear to somebody, but to us, it's not clear yet, man. Young prophet, you mean a brother right here? It's Hassan Karat, Bun Lawyer. On our blankets, we have cherries, and we see that. That's spiritual. That's spiritual down there, especially in the Southwest area. Gadites, man, it's a lot of stuff, man. Right? I'm telling you, I got this information. My laptop is broke. Most High willing, within the coming weeks, I'm gonna have it back up and running. You know, if it be the will of the Most High. Now, I'm gonna go into this Hopi Blue Star prophecy, right, as well as other Aztec prophecies that are clearly showing the Bible, literally, that the Northern Kingdom was having prophecies, visions, as well as their own versions of these prophecies in the Bible, man. The parable of the neighbor. No, Luke 10, because it's talking about the Good Samaritan is what you're talking about. That's showing you that even brothers who aren't in the truth are your neighbors, and sometimes could be better to you than brothers in the truth. That's the point of the Good Samaritan. What's good, dude?
And also, if I may, that also goes into the
friend
of unrighteousness.
No, I'm not Mexican. But I love my Mexican brothers of the tribe of Issachar. I'm studying the 12-week plan at the moment. Okay, boom, you 12-week course, beautiful. We're going to wake Gad up, man. It's just going to be hard. Gad is a tribe and I just don't even want to deal with it. After I went to the first power, I said, man, I don't want to. Hey, man, fuck these niggas, man. They just not right, you know, but they're clearly our people. They brains, man. But a lot of people don't understand what Gad is going through, man, and that has a lot to do with it. Who were the Nazarenes then? A sect of the Nazarene is a place, people who are from Nazareth. That's the Nazarenes. It wasn't like a philosophical sect necessarily, but you may have seen Yahushai's group being called Nazarenes because Yahushua was Jesus of Nazareth. Con, brother Al's, are you going to host a brother? Oh, I want to. I'm all for hosting it. I'm in contact constantly with Judah Nasser. We just got to get the other boy to stop ducking. All praise to the Most High, to the brother Dude. But for the record, dude, I'm not Mexican. I'm so-called Haitian.
Me as well. For the record,
this brother as well. Shalom. All right, here it says, okay, so me and my 2 sons. Yeah, Khan, I remember you, brother. As soon as you said Central Valley, I already knew it was you. Shalom to that brother tribe of Issachar, man. All praise to the Most High. Can we get a few words from him? I mean, what you want from him? You know? Wow, speaks on the mighty warrior that is Jacob.
It's not me typing, by the
way. I know it not. Like it's you coming on there like, hey, man, can I get a breakdown? The Bible speaks of the mighty warrior that is Jacob adopted son, the 13th. Did you ever? No, that's not in the Bible. Are both tribe of Benjamin and Ephraim the same sense? No. I want to avatar. I got to qualify this. There's a term. When you see West Indians, don't get confused. There's a proper term. West Indian isn't necessarily the proper term for the tribe of Benjamin. All right. But they are the principal people who identify as West Indian. So I'm going to tell you the proper term for the tribe of Benjamin: Commonwealth Caribbean Negroes and Dutch Caribbean Negroes. Commonwealth and Dutch Caribbean, or Commonwealth and Dutch West Indian Negroes, are the tribe of Benjamin. In specifics, Commonwealth and Dutch, which makes up the majority of the West Indies, but not technically all the West Indies, because you could still count Cuba, Haiti, Dominican Republic, and Puerto Rico as a part of the West Indies. But the Commonwealth and Dutch Caribbean nations are whom the tribe of Benjamin is. Yeah, we could work something. Just go in the description, hit the email, and do it like that. I know about the Lost Book of Inky. Ephraim is going through a lot, and people keep forgetting about it. When you come back to Cali, Sicarii, I'm in the OC. I'm not sure yet. I'm not sure when I'm gonna be back in California yet. Not looking like no time soon. That's the Bahamas is the tribe of Benjamin. Got an officer Bazak Bariyah from the tribe of Benjamin, straight out of the Bahamas in the camp. Especially Puerto Rico right now. Nazarenes are a priesthood outside of Levites. No, the Nazarenes are not a priesthood. You had you have Nazarites, right? So there's a group of people. There's somebody who just came and tried to tell me something like the Nazarites was running the priesthood, or was and I was kind of dealing with that the other day. So I thought that's what you was talking about. That's damn right, Zar. After describing the Messiah as what would explain keeping the laws, that's good for it. I know. Wait. After describing the Messiah. Oh yeah, tell them to have the faith, keep the laws, statutes, commandments, and tell them to at least look up some videos. That's why you got to get some flyers or something. You got to get some literature that you can hurry up and hit somebody with. Boom, that'll have information that they could go and research for themselves. What about the UFO phenomenon? I think the UFOs that you see are either one, chariot to the Most High, or two, Project Bluebeam. One of the two. Shalom to Danyala, man. How you doing, man? You up early. Nigga, what you doing? Does Haiti mean little hell? No, Haiti means mountainous land. That's what it means. IT. It's a Taino word. Is the spirit of suicide heavy on Gad? There is a heavy spirit of suicide on tribe of Gad. Drinking themselves, death, killing themselves. Also, the police are killing them at a higher rate than anybody else. So all those things got to be factored in. Are the Israelites in 2 Chronicles 17:9 the same concept as Yahushua and his disciples who went door to door preaching? Get 2 Chronicles 17:9.
2 Chronicles 17:9. And they taught in Judah and had the book of the law of Yahweh with them, and went about throughout all the cities of Judah and taught the people.
Yeah, they were holding camp. That's not going door to door. That's holding camp. Dude, brother, you say you're from the constellation of Leo. You do realize that that's a Greco-Roman constellation. That's a Greco-Roman concept. It's a white man's concept. I want you to understand that there's even such thing as a constellation named Leo. Yeah, there's certain brothers who have that understanding with Exodus 23. But yeah, it really means to evoke those gods, call upon them, and talk about them as if they have power. They're your God. That's what it is. How many times a day should you pray? You should pray without ceasing. Yeah, all of that, Larry. Nah, and it's a reasonable question, brother, because I've heard a lot of people say Haiti means hell, and it doesn't. No, it doesn't. It doesn't come from Kemet. You can't go to the Kemetic cosmology and demonstrate a constellation like Leo. The Kemetic cosmology does not even have 12 constellations in it. The Kemetic cosmology doesn't match up with this calendar at all. Thinking that that's all pseudo black conscious nonsense that they fed you. But when you actually analyze Kemetic cosmology, you're not going to see Leo or anything that relates to it. You're not even going to see 12 zodiacs. None of that is Kemetic. That's why I said it's a Greco-Roman concept. What do you say to people who say, yeah, I laugh? And I asked them the number one, the people who say that don't even understand what Baal is. Don't even understand. Yeah, Bino, that's people say that Haiti means hell. People in Israel have said that. I've had to correct people on that on several occasions, King. Yeah, y'all make sure y'all go in the description too and subscribe to our other channels if you haven't already. Because we are constantly uploading content on a multiplicity of channels. So we got Sicarii, Sicarii Water, and we got Sicarii Public Enemies, and we also have a backup channel called 144K Killmongers, or 144,000 Killmongers. So subscribe to all of those to constantly make sure you're not missing a beat. Hit the notification button, because Lord willing, we're going to be going live on our other channels soon as well. Do you ascribe to any biblical text outside? I mean, the biblical text, I'll read any version of the Bible. Just 1611 is preferable, but there's sometimes that other translations got the 1611 beat pursuant to the Hebrew. I know where the Greco-Romans got the knowledge from. They got it from Egypt and Sumer. We understand that. But as far as the constellations and their whole cosmological concept, that's not, it's very flawed, and it doesn't match any ancient black cosmology. That's what I'm telling you. Yeah, Cornelius was saying this whole aspect that Gentiles are Northern Kingdom is another fault. Like when people say the law that he did away with the sacrificial law, the Gentiles are the Northern Kingdom, all of those are extremely flawed things to say. Never say them, because anybody with a little bit of knowledge is going to catch your jaw slipping out there doing that. The predominant kingdom that the Gentiles belong to is the Southern Kingdom. The Northern Kingdom was long gone.
Right.
There was just a remnant of them around, but it was predominantly Southern Kingdom, and they were Hellenized in the Maccabees. Those were Judah, Benjamin, and Levi. All right.
Yes. Yeah, so the Northern Kingdom been gone for like 700 years.
Yeah, by the time that happened. Is it the reason why? Is because one colonizers during the vision quest. I can see. No, because they went. Exactly, Larry. Behold, Yahweh met them and greeted them when they came up. Yeah, that just means they made obeisance. See, we also have to understand this is why we have to look at the translations. Anglican Protestants translated this predicated upon their understanding. When you look up that word that says worshipped in Greek, it's not dealing with worship like you worship the Most High. It's dealing with making obeisance. We can see Abraham, Moses, and all kind of people in the Bible making obeisance to other men, other human beings in that same fashion. That's not worship like you worship a God. That's different. That's reverencing a human being that's greater than you. That's showing subjugation and showing humility to somebody. That's not worshiping them.
Yeah, and I got a scripture.
Go ahead.
This is Christ's own words too. Luke 4:8. And Yahushua answered and said unto him, Get thee behind me, Satan, for it is written, Thou shalt worship the Lord thy God, and him only shalt thou serve.
That's different. Shalt thou serve. When you look at that word serve in the Greek, that's the word for worship, for real. Okay, Strong's G3000, latreia. All right, it says, why is Yahushua called a morning star? Isn't that Satan? See, that's the problem. You letting Christianity into your mind. Number one, Lucifer is not Satan. Satan is never called the bright and morning star. Lucifer, whom is the king of Babylon, who represent men, is called the morning star or the star of the morning. Why? Because they are the light that everyone seeks to. They are the standard in the earth. When Yahushua is exalted and put in his throne, him and his people, the Israelites, will be the light that everyone comes to. That's why it says the Gentiles shall seek to thy light. That means all the nations are going to want to be like us right now. Esau, the so-called white man, is in power. All the nations want to be like him. That's all it means. We got to take the spookism and the Christianity totally out of your mind. If we would reject Paul, would Yahweh hold us accountable? He might. What do you think about it? There ain't no reason to reject Paul. All right. You need to just deal with Paul. And you need to just understand Paul is not the law. That's where niggas get tripped up at. They think Paul is the law, and it's not. There's things in the Bible that aren't the law, bro, that are advisory or that are applicable to specific instances in time. And if you don't know how to rightly divide that, you'll run into a problem, and that'll lead you to maybe want to do that. But I've rarely ever seen people reject Paul and then not reject Yahushua. That's what's coming next. 9 times out of 10. I'll be honest with you. What do you think about the strange horn sounds coming from the sky? I don't know, but they might be a hoax to me. Shalom, Sicarii. Shalom. Is there a way I can get Israelite calendar? Go to our website in our description, Exodus1715.org, and you get our High Holy Day calendar. Shalom, soldier, the Bach of War. Is the sleeping giant 12 tribes? For sure. What they think what's that? Is that our father coming? I wouldn't say that about them damn trumpet sounds. No, Jew is a general term meaning southern kingdom, meaning Judah, Benjamin, and Levi. I didn't realize how backwards I think until I started trying to filter my thoughts too. Hey, nah, for real, Herbert, for real. The constellation Leo was used on the walls. No, it wasn't. I'm not asleep. I've already looked at this. Trust me. I know what I'm talking about. You're going to have to prove what you're saying. I call bullshit. No, just because you see a lion doesn't mean that's the constellation. They literally worship these things. What about the griffin? What's the griffin constellation in? Kill the devil's going to kill the... Okay, Con. Hey, gag crazy. Interesting. Give Matthew 27:52. 52? Uh-huh.
This book of Matthew, chapter 27, verse 52. And the graves were open, and many bodies of the saints which slept arose.
It's nothing to explain about that. What it says happened. Saints who were dead got up out their graves and walked around. Go ahead.
Verse 53, and came out of the graves after his resurrection and went into the holy city.
Went into Jerusalem, read.
And appeared unto many.
And showed themselves to people. That happened. And it was as a shadow of things to come, meaning he was going to rise us up out of our graves. And we were going to walk around through the holy city amongst our people and reveal ourselves on a spiritual and a metaphysical level. But it physically happens because there's layers to this understanding. Acts 10:35.
Not lawful. Other nation, I think.
Yeah, okay. Check out our Cornelius breakdown too, Brother Arbel.
Acts 10:35. It says, but in every nation he that feareth him and worketh righteousness is accepted with him.
Boom. Great. Acts 2:5. Here's the precept for that.
This book of Acts chapter 2, verse 5. It says, and there were dwelling at Jerusalem Jews, read. Devout men, go ahead. Out of every nation.
So we're in every nation. That's why it says what it says in Acts 10:35. I'm not familiar with the gap theory. I mean, Terry, loosely a Jew could apply to all the whole nation. Shalom to the Holy Dove. Holy Dove, man, we got some brothers in Florida in here, man. Make your presence known. Rob, too. Make your presence known because we got some brothers in Florida in here that's trying to link. Yeah, it's mentioned in his adversarial titles, Caesar. How do we get around the scriptures concerning Esau that reference lands like Dedan? It's very easy because the same scriptures will reference Israel in our land, Jerusalem, but it's not talking about Jerusalem. Like I said, get Zechariah 1 when it says thou hast divided and scattered Jerusalem. The doctrine of Balaam is the doctrine of what they call antinomianism, which is the belief that you don't have to keep the law. That's the doctrine of Balaam. Go ahead.
This is Zechariah 1:18.
Oh, Salakia. That's not the doctrine of Balaam. My fault. That's the Jezebel. That's Jezebel. Salakia. We're gonna get to that in a second. Go ahead.
Zechariah 1:18. Then lifted up mine eyes, and saw, and behold, 4 horns. And I said unto the angel that talked with me, what be these? And he answered me, these are the horns which have scattered Judah, Israel, and Jerusalem.
Is Jerusalem scattered as an actual land? No. Lands refer to people groups that the lands initially belonged to. America is now all those things that apply to Edom. Why? Because more white people live in America than any other nation under heaven. All right. Hold on, there's another question. Okay, Revelation 2:14. Get that. Shalom, sincere Israel.
This book of Revelation chapter 2, verse 14. But I have a few things against thee, because thou hast there them that hold the doctrine of Balaam.
Go ahead.
Who taught Balak to cast a stumbling block before the children of Israel.
That's doctrines of stumbling blocks. That's what the doctrine of Balaam is. Go ahead.
To eat things sacrificed unto idols.
Oh, to do what?
To eat things sacrificed unto idols.
To teach people it's okay to eat things sacrificed to idols. That's the doctrine of Balaam. It's not okay to eat things sacrificed to idols. You walk into a restaurant, you see idols up, you don't eat it. Go ahead.
And to commit fornication.
And to commit what?
Fornication.
Fornication. Those things are not acceptable or okay. The teaching of such a thing is off. That's the doctrine of Balaam. It's self-explanatory there. Keep reading down, King. Go ahead.
You want to keep going?
No, that's it.
Okay. So.
Shalom, since we use this. Okay. No, I mean, we know that Jesus is not the name because we know that the letter J didn't even exist when the Bible was translated. So, no. Pray in the name of Yahweh.
That's right.
Shalom. Anyone in Atlanta in this chat? Give me Acts 4:12. Matter of fact, more on that.
Yeah, that's where I was going to go there. It's just Acts chapter 4, verse 12. Neither is there salvation in any other.
There's only salvation in one name. Read.
For there is none other name under heaven.
None others. One name under heaven. Read.
Given among men, whereby we must be saved.
Which is Yahweh Shai. All right, so that's what we need to pray in. Okay. Shalom, brother. Quick question. Where in the scriptures it tell us to wear the Star of David? Nowhere in the scriptures it tells us to wear the Star of David. There's no such thing as a Star of David, technically. So it's not anywhere in the Bible that tells us to wear something that doesn't exist. If you're identifying what they call in geometry, geometrical shape called the hexagram, that's something different. That's pattern after naturally occurring things, i.e. snowflakes, honeycombs, pomegranates, lilies, etc. That's found all over the Bible. What's wrong with celebrating your birthday? Job 1 and 4.
This book of Job, chapter 1, verse 4. And his sons went and feasted in their houses, everyone his day.
Everyone what?
His day.
That's his birthday. Read.
And sent and called for their 3 sisters.
So they were celebrating their birthdays. Read.
To eat and to drink with them. And it was so, when the days of their feasting were gone about, that Job sent and sanctified them, and rose up early in the morning, and offered burnt offerings.
Offered a burnt offering. Read.
According to the number of them all. For Job said, it may be that my sons have sinned.
They have sinned. Through celebrating their birthday. Sin. Read.
And cursed God in their hearts.
Boom. Period. So that's what's wrong with your birthday. Somebody asked, Isaiah 56 and 7. The angels are bound in Euphrates because this is like an area where the Most High gets active and stirs up a lot of strife. But they'll be sent out throughout the earth. That's for Revelation 9:13. Go ahead.
56 and 7. It's Isaiah 56 and 7. Even them will I bring to my holy mountain and make them joyful in my house of prayer. Their burnt offerings and their sacrifices.
You want to start at 6.
Yeah. It's Isaiah 56 and 6. Also the sons of the stranger that join themselves to Yahweh to serve him and to
Who are the sons of the stranger? Actual non-Israelites. Read.
And to love the name of Yahweh, to be his servants. Everyone that keepeth the Sabbath from polluting it and taketh hold of my covenant, even them will I bring to my holy mountain and make them joyful in my house of prayer.
That's right. Why? Because in the kingdom, all nations are going to have to worship our God. That's all that's talking about. They ain't going to have a choice. So some are going to gladly serve him, just like you got some Negroes going to gladly serve a white Jesus.
That's right.
They're going to gladly serve our power.
It's so funny how a Christian will love to go to this chapter, and they'll go to that verse and say, "Oh, it says they're gonna, love the God and the Most High," but bro, it says they burnt offerings.
So, like, go ahead.
Bro, so are they gonna have to admit that the law's not done away with? So, do they really want to go here?
Exactly. Yahweh is one. Faithful to God will never take this fade, brother. He don't want this one. He does not want to debate me. He'll make $1 million. None of them niggas did. Vocab told niggas to block us.
No, straight up.
Dude, my brother, you're gonna have to prove that. Same way you're gonna have to prove Leo. I'm calling BS on all of that. And not only you gonna have to prove it, but you're gonna have to demonstrate it in the original language it was written in, King. Ready to do that? So what does the 6-point star on your sign? I don't have a star anywhere. So you can understand. Stop calling something a star that's not a star. You look at a star is a circle. Star don't look like that. So like I said, it's a geometrical shape modeled after several naturally occurring things in the earth, i.e. pomegranates, lilies, honeycomb, snowflake. All right, that's what it is. And there all those things in the Bible are likened unto the law, statutes, commandments, knowledge, wisdom, understanding. So that's what it is, King. So you can understand. And it's up to the Egyptian scripture. I'll show you it was a false prophecy. And this is from the last correct worldwide. Do not hold accurate. Yeah, that's crazy. He speaks. You speak. That's Sicarii camp. Yeah, we got brothers in Houston. Brother Tazaban and Brother Yaiquab. So yeah, just go in the description and find our contact information, be it email or Facebook, and reach out to us, and we can link y'all up with brothers who we have in these respective cities. We certainly have brothers out there in the H. No, not even sacred geometry. Just a pattern that teaches a lesson. I wouldn't call it sacred geometry. That's like some whole other stuff. Yeah, this officer that I'm sitting next to is over the Southwest. So if you in Texas, Louisiana, Arkansas, etc., this is the guy you want to talk to. NBA Cloud TV, no. Y'all niggas got to get off this Thanos kick. If you open up a Florida camp, will it only be? We got a brother in Boca Raton as well, so down South Florida. Hey, shalom to the brother WACO. I believe Esau is the white man, but what would you say to someone who says they can't be white because Esau's white or African? I just had a debate about that in the black media, but generational albinism is what I would say to that. That they had that curse on them that stayed with them to establish them as a red people or so-called white people. You feel me? Sometimes it ain't that deep, right? And if you follow the comic books, they were about to call on God and the Archangel Michael to come and save them from Thanos. So no, he ain't like Thanos. We're out there in West Palm. Denver, nah, we ain't never had nobody out there. Well, actually, years ago, when I first started entertaining the idea of having brothers, but I don't know what happened to that brother. You had something?
I was just going to go on to 2 Kings 5:27. It says, the leprosy thereof, therefore, of Naaman shall cleave unto thee and unto thy seed forever.
You see that? Generational albinism in the Bible. What's the difference between IUIC and GMS? Ask IUIC and GMS. I'm not either, so I can't tell. That ain't even my place to talk about. What do I think about 6ix9ine? I think that 6ix9ine is a marketing genius. And I think that he's doing all the right things to keep himself as the most relevant person on the planet, more relevant than Donald Trump, Kim Jong-un, and Dennis Rodman right now. That's what I think about 6ix9ine. He's saying 6ix9ine this, 6ix9ine that, nigga. Yeah. Okay. Dude, if you believe in the Reese's Monkey BS, you more pride, more pseudo. If Esau didn't come from a black man, then a brother who was a product of a mixture of a black man and a white woman, or a white man and a black woman, wouldn't be able to reproduce or procreate. And I am black father, white mother, and I got 2 kids sleep in the back right now. So that proves that they actually do come from us. Jose DeWild Mercedes. But I got you on Facebook, dude. Now I just seen you. They just locked you up. Gonna resurrect how they done. Yeah, they're gonna be birthed through our loins. 2/3 gonna resurrect. That's in John 5.
He's talking about John 5:28. It says, "Marvel not at this, for the hour is coming in the which all that are in the grave shall hear his voice, and shall come forth, they that have done good unto the resurrection of life, and they that have done evil unto the resurrection of damnation."
Yeah, so that's not dealing with them coming into the kingdom, though. That's not what that's dealing with.
Yeah, I got one for him.
Go ahead.
This is Daniel chapter 12.
No, we ain't got nobody in Milwaukee.
Hold on.
Why do you all be denying? I don't deny Africans. We just was talking about West African brothers earlier. So I definitely deny a lot of Africans, but there certainly is West African tribes that are Israelites, or predominantly, or have Israelites amongst them for certain. Can women wear pants if they're women's pants?
I got this.
Go ahead.
This is Daniel 12:2. "And many of them that sleep in the dust of the earth shall awake, some to everlasting life, and some to shame and everlasting contempt."
Exactly. So when they awake, when they're born, they're going to have the shame, knowing that they committed those sins and were a part of the 2/3. Get 56:3 in Isaiah. Could you tell me about the 144,000, 12,000 of the 12 tribes? About the dude who said he didn't know his nationality. Yeah, that he was an Irish slave. He was he's the devil. That's crazy. Go ahead, Doc.
Isaiah 56:3. "Neither let the son of the stranger that joined himself to Yahweh speak, saying, Yahweh hath utterly separated me from his people."
Yeah, like I said earlier, this is in the kingdom. These people are going to come and worship our God, just like how we do. Enrique Figueroa, "No, it's not the abomination of desolation." NBA Cloud TV, "Jesus is not the most high God." That's how. But we're gods.
Right.
Psalms 8:2-6.
This book of Psalm, chapter 82 and verse 6. "I have said, ye are gods, and all of you are children of the Most High."
I have said, ye are gods, and all of you are children of the Most High. So Israelites are gods. So Yahweh Shai is a God in that same. It's just the chief of that. But he's not the Most High God, which is his Father, Yahweh in heaven. We don't believe in the Trinity. The Trinity is not a biblical teaching. Go, you got a point?
Well, I mean, that's why also in Hebrews it talks about God, even thy God.
Yeah, thy God. What is that? Matthew 25:41. Yeah, his angels, you have to understand, the devil and his angels is not talking about Satan or any spiritual demons. The devil and his angels is talking about the white man and his armies, the Western powers and their armies. That's what that's talking about. Not talking about spiritual entities. To deny Christ's divinity is the worst heresy out perfect. Come on, man. That's crazy. Who denied his divinity? You don't even know what divinity and what it is to be divine in the first place. You goddamn Christian.
Dummy.
Tato's dad sad about Chicago and all the gangster life shit, basically. Talking about his own son. Yeah, Tato is a failure at life. So, can women wear tight pants? Women can wear women's pants. And as far as tight pants, that is something that is subjective to her head. Her head decides what she can and can't wear. If your man tell you can't wear pants, then you can't wear pants. But I'm just talking about the Bible says you wear what pertains to a woman. So a woman's pants pertain to a woman. Well, you got to point out?
Yeah, it just to show how little Christians know the Bible and how much they rely on their pastor's rhetoric. This dude is going to come on the comment board and say that us denying that Christ is the Most High is the worst heresy, when the Bible clearly states that blasphemy of the Holy Spirit is the worst heresy. He's not going to come on the comment board with a viable antithesis to, you know what I mean, try to prove his point. He's just going to come, oh, I'll pray for you. You know what I mean? Like, just typical Christian rhetoric. No answers.
Revelations is not the oldest scripture. It's the youngest scripture. That's crazy. Why is there historical? Because we covered that we wear it the same way we wear a damn hat. We covered our whole heads at time. Just when praying and prophesying, we wouldn't. So people have this ideology that you just can't have your head covered ever. But if you're praying or prophesying, you know, teaching the word of God or praying to God, you should not do that. That's not customary. Your head should be uncovered, partially at least, during that time. But any other time, your head can be covered. That's fine. Same way we walk around. If I'm not teaching, bro, I'm walking around with a fitted on, bro, a snapback on, something like that. That's just real. Might have this scarf, take it, and boom, drape it over the head. I ain't teaching, right? I ain't praying. What should be done with Israelite trader agents back in the day? We used to stone them. What about nowadays? Just don't deal with them. Most High gonna judge them. You know, we not under the law, we under grace, meaning we don't have the authority and our sovereignty to execute judgment according to the Torah. So we just gonna have to let the Most High get them in time. How do you blasphemy is a filthy lie? Isaiah 13 and 15. What is the proper way to break down? We'll get that too next, 11 and 12. So get Isaiah 13, 15, and 11 and 12.
No, that brother was saying Isaiah 13, 15 is the answer to
what Khan, Salakia. Okay, let's go to 11 and 12.
This is Isaiah chapter 11, verse 12. And he shall set up an ensign for the nations, and shall assemble the outcasts of Israel.
And shall assemble the outcasts of Israel, read.
And gather together the dispersed of Judah.
Shall gather together the Israelites that are dispersed, read.
From the four corners of the earth.
So it says the outcasts of Israel and the dispersed of Judah, meaning the 12 tribes scattered throughout the four corners of the earth. How do I feel about a camp saying? I don't see a biblical precedence for it, and it's just a recruitment tactic, if you ask me. I know I got a queen and she dropped juice and she a woman, but she ain't even. Oh my goodness gracious! It says Yahweh Shai at the beginning of creation. He's not exactly beautiful precept on Anal Kahan. Shalom. Oh, Shalom, brother Maccabees. Shalom, brothers. Thank you for doing what y'all doing. All praises. Avatar. I mean, you know, it's a personal preference, but if your hair is too long and you're not keeping the Nazarite vow, that there could be the problems. Christ, obviously, in the streets. How do you keep your composure while heated debates? Through the Most High giving me a spirit of patience, man, and trial and error, bro. You know, you gotta ask the Most High for patience. You know what I'm saying? Because things got to be done effectively for the edification of the body. Being 80%. Dude, again, I call BS. Prove it. Give me one example. Can y'all do a video on head wraps? Yeah, when they took our channel down, a lot of videos are down, but I'm starting to find them on some of these drives, so I'm gonna start re-uploading them. The Nazarite vow means you can't cut your hair at all. Why would Moses sprinkle blood on the people after the announcement of the commandments? Did he get that through the ignorance? No, that's a Levitical ritual. You see that in voodoo. Now, it's a Levitical ritual. Dude, you can't believe. Okay, I see you. Numbers, and if you go to the book of Numbers, the 6th chapter, it'll tell you about the Nazarite vow to the brother Avatar. It's crazy because this computer I got that we live streaming on, it still ain't changed from West Coast time, so I'm looking at it's 5 now. I'm looking up here at 7. But yeah, we gonna close out because it's you know, I don't know if y'all know this or not, but I ain't been to sleep yet. You know, do I take my hat off? I mean, yeah, you should. If you're like literally talking about the Bible and breaking stuff down, yeah, take your hat off. That's all. You know, or make sure you got like a hair wrap like this that's got the top uncovered. It's around your head, but it's not over. See that the root word of cover is over. That's why COVER. So make sure it's not over. It's not over the head. You know what I mean? But yeah, we're gonna get up out of here. With that, we give again all praise, honor, glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. Say shalom.
Shalom.